Enter stage left, a stage direction. Loop gets snippy. The fighter attempts to offer an olive branch. Loop looks for a mirror and runs into the housemaiden. A noise wakes you up. Slowly you crack open your eyes, grumbling quietly. Hmm. You lean forward in the night. Your upper half is resting on something warm. Something breathing. Oh, stars. Apparently you started laying on stardust during the night. One arm is curled around your head, the other's hand still holding onto his. It's an embarrassing position to be in, but you don't react too strongly. You don't want to wake them up, they need their rest.
Loop?
Comes a surprised voice to your left side, your blind side, and you jump, whipping your head around to see the fighter. Your free hand has taken up a scissors position instinctively, which you drop as soon as you notice it. Ah, the sound that woke you is probably the door in hindsight. He's holding a plate of breakfast food.
Oh, sorry, I just, uh,
He pauses, staring at you, and you have no idea why, which makes you more nervous.
Steve's still asleep?
He asks, and you raise an eyebrow, silently gesturing to them, still dead to the world.
You have eyes, fighter.
You say flatly. You're still irate from being blindsided. Really, shouldn't you know better?
More than I do, in any case.
There's a bit of reproach there, perhaps more than there needs to be. No harm was really done other than a slight scare, but blind at all, you're kind of mad just looking at him. He smiles apologetically.
Sorry about that.
He says,
I wasn't thinking about it. That's my bad.
You think about telling him, yeah, it is your bad, just to be a little rude, but you don't. You hum, smoothing the irritation from your expression. You're really not trying to make enemies at the moment. You just happen to be very good at it, and being around the fighter doesn't exactly make you nice.
Breakfast in bed for Stardust? Romantic?
You say with a grin, though it lacks some of your usual energy. You can be forgiven for that. You just woke up. The fighter flushes.
I just thought he might be hungry, but if he's still asleep, I don't want to wake him.
He says, coming around to sit on the free bed. This brings him a little closer than you'd like, but oh well.
Do you want some?
He offers, and you... What? You don't think he's trying to be mean, he doesn't really have that in him, but what is this, then?
I can't eat.
You remind him awkwardly, baffled.
I know you had an armful of Stardust yesterday when I mentioned it, but you didn't seem that distracted, fighter.
He hesitates, for some reason seeming just as perplexed as you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's just...
He trails off, apparently unsure what to say.
Did you forget?
It comes out a little sharper than intended. You don't know why the urge to be mean is so strong right now. You feel kind of hollow? You don't know how he could have forgotten, though, considering you have no mouth, but...
No, I didn't forget, just... your...
You might have gone a little too noisy, because Stardust shifts and stretches, letting out a jaw-cracking yawn.
What's going on?
They slur, still half asleep.
Nothing. Just having a chat.
You say with false cheer. Their brows furrow, and then they slowly squint their eye open, blinking a few times.
Doesn't sound...
They start and suddenly stop, staring at you. Okay, why? The fighter you can excuse as being unused to you, but Stardust has seen you just about every day for multiple months.
What?
You snap, unduly irritated. Slowly, Stardust lifts a hand, eye wide, and brings it up to your face. Then he very gently brushes your hair back. You're... You suddenly stand and immediately are hit with a wave of mild dizziness.
Whoa!
The fighter cries, reaching out to steady you. You reach up and grip his shoulders tight. The contact makes something unpleasant writhe in your gut.
Mirror.
You say quickly.
Where's it? I need a mirror. Where's the picture mirror? Or a bathroom? Or
Loop.
Stardust interrupts, and you look down at them. You have no idea what you look like.
It's okay. You're okay, I promise. Breathe with me?
You nod. The fighter very gently sets you back down in your chair so that you can reach them, and they take one of your hands and press it to their chest, breathing deeply. You do your best to follow him, and soon, thankfully, you start to calm down.
I'm good.
You say. Stardust keeps your hand, which you don't actually mind.
I'm fine.
You don't apologize for manhandling the fighter. He can handle it.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
The fighter offers, trying to seem unbothered. You know better. He's worried about you. The thought makes you a bit sick to your stomach.
You didn't know you changed?
You can't tell if that's a capital C change or not. You don't want to know,
No,
you say sharply.
this has never happened before. What do I look like?
Like Sif, mostly.
The fighter says. You do not know how to feel about the direct comparison, however true it may be.
There's, some differences. You have your other eyes still.
You're glad he brought that bit up, actually, because you were wondering, and you may have done something stupid, like try to check.
Issa can take you to a mirror in a bit.
Stardust promises you, and you grimace. You actually don't really want the fighter to take you anywhere. Still, at least you'll be able to get a good look at yourself. You take a deep breath and nod.
You were really unsteady when you stood up.
They say, frowning.
I don't know why.
You huff.
I just felt dizzy and kind of tired and, I don't know, empty? Not emotional empty.
You correct quickly when Stardust frowns harder at you.
Like, gnawing?
Stardust startles you by laughing, muffling it under a hand.
Loop, you're hungry.
They say, grinning. Ah, that makes sense. You haven't felt hungry in months, maybe longer.
Ah, so you do want some breakfast in bed, which I will remind you you teased me for.
The fighter gives you that self-satisfied smile, and you look away. You don't want to see that, now or ever.
Here.
He says awkwardly after a long moment, passing you the plate. You wrinkle your nose a little. The thought of eating is a little weird to you now.
Honey's gonna be so mad.
Stardust comments, chuckling.
Your first food in stars know how long, and it's not theirs? Criminal.
You snort, shaking your head a little. Gingerly, you grab a piece of bacon and nibble at it. Oh, you are very hungry. The plate empties in no time. You hardly even taste it. You blink. Apparently the fighter left at some point, so it's just you and Stardust.
Wow, I see why people react that way to me eating now.
He comments. You swat at them.
I haven't eaten in months. You eat multiple times a day. We are not the same.
You pause, grimacing.
Oh, sorry for eating your entire breakfast.
Oops,
It's fine.
they say, waving you off.
Issa went to go get more. You're fine.
You did still eat something that his boyfriend got for him, which feels like a bit of a social faux pas at best.
Feeling better?
They ask, pushing your hair back. You swat lightly at him.
Stop petting me.
You scold with very little heat. He sticks his tongue out at you. You don't actually mind it that much, but you have a reputation to uphold. Well, as much of a reputation as you still have, assuming they all saw how you slept last night. Stars.
Yes, I'm feeling better. Amazing what food does for the body, hmm?
Stardust snorts.
So,
They look at you, brows furrowed.
any idea why this happened?
You blink, then raise a hand to your chin thoughtfully.
Maybe the witchcraft is running out?
You pause and look at your hands. They're still just as they were before, lightless with scattered darkless specks.
If that's the case, we should probably get you clothes sooner rather than later.
He comments. Ah, good point. Honestly, clothes sound nice anyway.
Noted. Gonna go steal from you.
They let out a scoff, but don't argue. You find the fighter's bag and dig through it until you find a spare set of Stardust clothes. Score. You put them on. It's not the best solution, but they're clothes that fit you, so you'll take it. You look over at them and they're respectfully looking away.
Stardust. You've literally been looking at me this whole time and I've been naked. This is not new.
He flusters very visibly, glaring at you.
It's still weird to watch you get dressed.
They argue.
It's common decency not to look.
You laugh and he makes a garbled, frustrated noise. It's a little cute.
Well, as fun as this has been,
You say.
I think I'm going to go try finding a mirror.
You stretch, heading for the door.
Are you sure you'll be fine wandering around the house on your own?
You scoff.
Yes, I'll be fine, Stardust. I'm a full-grown adult just like you. If I'm not back in, say, an hour, you can call in the cavalry.
You pause, turning back to frown at them.
Are you going to be fine by yourself?
Lisa will be here soon.
He says dismissively.
I'll probably be alone for all of 5 seconds. Don't worry about me.
It's my job to worry about you.
You reply, but you can see the point.
See you in a bit, Stardust.
You say, stepping out. The house is still the house, regardless of what form it takes. As soon as you're alone in it, you feel a little jittery. You consider going back in, but you really do want to see what you look like now, and you don't want the blinding fighter there to watch you do it. Anyone else would be better, genuinely. You'd rather the researchers stand there picking you apart when you see yourself than have the fighter seeing you. The thought alone makes you feel like tearing your own skin off. That all said, you press on, beginning to aimlessly wander the halls of the house. It's a little less bad than you thought initially. It's very different with all the housemaids walking around chatting. The pale colors are a nice change of pace, too. You were tired of the king's lightless hellscape. It's still not exactly pleasant, but you can tolerate it. Except the layout has changed. You knew this, but in practice, it's much more trouble than it sounds. The trouble starts when you realize you're on floor 2 now, and as far as you know, the bathroom and the picture mirror are upstairs on floor 3. You're tolerating floor 2, but you do not think you could tolerate floor 3. With the amount of time you've spent up there throwing yourself at a brick wall, the very thought of having to wander those same corridors again makes you feel a little ill. And that's how you end up at the bottom of the stairwell, staring at the staircase like it killed your whole family. It may as well have in any case.
Siffrin!
Comes a scolding, startled voice from behind you. You freeze.
You shouldn't be out of bed.
The housemaid admonishes. Oh, you think you might throw up right here, right now. You swallow it down viciously. You turn to face her, fake smile plastered on.
Wrong Siffrin housemaiden.
You chirp cheerfully. Your voice sounds wrong in your ears.
Guess again.
The housemaiden startles.
Loop?
She asks, eyes wide.
Ding, ding, ding.
The grin on your face feels very plastic and very unconvincing.
Oh,
She seems to be realizing how badly being called Siffrin might have upset you, anxiously rushing to apologize.
I'm so sorry. I just thought,
It's quite all right, housemaiden.
You assure her. You don't think she believes you, and you don't blame her.
It's an easy mistake to make at the moment.
can I ask?
You shrug.
I simply woke up like this.
You tell her. Wait, the housemaid knows her way around the house. You may have just found your ticket out.
Actually, I was looking for a mirror, but the only ones I know are on the 3rd floor. And I don't want to go to the 3rd floor.
Oh, no, there's a bathroom on every floor.
She informs you, and you breathe a sigh of relief. You're also just very, very grateful she didn't ask why you're so averse to the next floor up.
Do you want me to lead you there?
If you wouldn't mind.
You say, feeling a little bit of your nervous energy bleeding out. Whatever you told Stardust, you were not looking forward to searching aimlessly until you happened upon a room with a mirror. The housemaid nods and offers you her hand, smiling. You stare at it for a moment. You don't need it, really. You need it to get into the building, but you think you're mostly all right now. You take her hand regardless, because you're greedy. She leads you through the 2nd floor expertly, waving at passing housemaids, but thankfully not stopping for any conversations. You find yourself at the bathroom in no time at all.
Do you want me to come in with you?
She asks. You dither.
Do what you want.
You reply after far too long.
I don't mind either way.
She comes in with you. Quietly, you walk to the mirror and stand in front of one of the sinks, looking at yourself. You do look like Stardust. As a matter of fact, you're almost a perfect match. The same lightless ends to your hair, the same pale skin, the same face. Well, not entirely. You still have your bad eye. Stardust told you once that was a lighter shade, and you certainly see that now, though the difference is negligible if you're not looking for it. The scar over it is shaped like a 4-point star. You lift a hand, but pause because you can feel the housemaiden looming on your left side, but you can't see her through the mirror, and it's making you a little antsy. The fighter did that too. It stands to reason that she just doesn't realize it.
My left eye is still blind.
You state simply. It comes out a bit flat,
Oh, I'm sorry.
she says, and you watch her circle you in the mirror to stand on your right instead, where you can see her.
Better?
Much, thank you.
That sorted, you go back to what you were doing, bringing a hand up to gently trace the scar over your eye.
This isn't what his looks like, is it?
You recall it being a regular jagged gash, and you know they had to remove the eye lest it get infected. You haven't seen it recently because Stardust tends to sleep with his eye patch on. Is that healthy? It's probably fine,
The scar?
she clarifies, and you nod once.
No. Do you know why it's different?
You scowl.
I wish.
You reply bitterly. The housemaiden winces, and you tilt your head to look at her.
I'm not mad at you.
You say.
Just frustrated.
She relaxes.
It sounds frustrating.
She agrees. You hum an acknowledgement, bringing a hand up to toy with the lightless ends of your hair. Now this is too much, Siffrin. It's all that remains of the time you made the very inadvisable decision to dye your hair entirely lightless. It looked blinding stupid on you. What's left looks cute on Stardust, but you think you might hate it on yourself. You're scowling into the mirror about it when the housemaiden speaks up.
Do you want to cut it off?
She asks, and you blink, turning to her.
What?
The ends of your hair. You are, kind of giving them a mean look?
That you were. Honestly, you'd forgotten a little bit that you can do whatever you want with your appearance now. You look at yourself again, eyes narrow.
I should. Looks bad on me.
I think you look fine.
She says.
But, if you want to cut it, I could. Do it for you. I took a class on hairstyling.
She offers very tentatively.
If you want to do it yourself, that's fine too. I just think it'd be easier if someone else did it, since you can't get at the back of your hair very well, and I'd really like to help.
You think about it. True, you could just have a go at cutting it yourself, but you think the last time you did that it went hilariously poorly. You don't want to mess it up now that you have it.
If you wouldn't mind.
You say again, slowly.
I don't. Not at all.
In fact, she does seem genuinely very happy that you agreed at all. She hesitates, smile falling a bit.
Oh, I have stuff in my room we could use, but
You grimace. But it's on the 3rd floor.
do you think you could do it if I let you, like last time? If not, we can just find somewhere else to.
It's fine, housemaiden.
You interrupt before she can think too much about it.
If I don't have to think about it, I believe I'll be alright.
You hope for both your sakes that that's true.
Okay,
She agrees.
but if you start feeling bad, you have to tell me.
You think you can probably handle those terms, so you nod. Quest obtained, you allow the housemaiden to lead you back towards floor 3.